It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our daily gun show. We come to you live every day at noon Eastern. That's 9 Pacific for about an hour or so each day. We do 3 gun-related topics, different topics throughout the week. We choose those on Mondays, so if you'd like to be part of the show, join us at the beginning of the show on Mondays where we schedule out the rest of the week. We run it live on YouTube. We simulcast it over at gunchannels.com where we're watching the live comments that are coming in. We take the best of the show's audio and post that as a podcast over on iTunes. So we appreciate everybody's listening to the show now or in the future, especially those who take the time to interact with whatever social media platform you watch the show or listen to the show. Subscribing to the channels, liking the videos, commenting. All those actions help the platforms recommend our show to more people, and that's one of our goals. So we thank you for that favor. There are hosts. We have 3 of us here today, I think. We've got Bob jumping in from Canada. Thanks for joining.
Hey, glad to be here.
And we got Jimmy running the place from Phoenix.
Very good to be here. Thank you.
And then I'm down here in Tucson. So we are jumping into episode 422. It's our Second Amendment Day, and we are actually looking for a couple of, or at least one topic. So if anybody's got a Second Amendment issue, let us know. On Tuesdays, we also do a state of the state, and we're going in order of the states on the tour. So we'll be doing Arkansas today. And we do things like a gun shop of the day, a gun of the day, all kinds of things on the daily. And before we dig into all that, we usually take a break to talk about anything that might have happened overnight.
I got nothing today.
Same.
We had quite a few shows last night on Mondays. Match Chat, HVS have a show. I think I saw him on there. And then
he changed his time to, I believe it's 7 or 8 Eastern now.
Oh, that's right. He jumped it 2 or 3 hours ahead. We have that in the schedule.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's dead air. So then I guess we'll dig into the show. So Second Amendment issue, we don't have one. So we'll dig into the second segment, and we'll wait for somebody in the audience to give us an idea for a Second Amendment topic. See a bunch of people jumping in over on the YouTube side, which is great, but Gun Channel side, dead. What's up with that? So something happened. Everybody had to re-log in over there. Probably the servers shut down or did a reboot or something. Guns is posting something over on the Gun Channel side about the governor of California signed 3 gun control bills and vetoed the 4th. Signed measures to end the last narrow allowances in the state for campus carry and open carry, but rejected one to mandate increased security at gun stores. So he signed 3 of them over the weekend. And then he told them the last one was an overreach. All right, so yeah, it's tough. So they're obviously using the chaos of what else is going on and the divided attention and pass this stuff. So I'm sure California's been trying to let us know that these things are moving on their side. I'll be back.
Oh yeah, you can tell it's been going on everywhere. They've been doing these new bills. Just the other day, they did the magazine one we were talking about, which is another open-ended bill, and obviously the bump fire stock bill that they're trying to put through, which leaves that open-ended. I mean, they're pretty much, like G-Wes was saying, taking this tragedy to their advantage.
Well, you know what they say, Democrats never let a good tragedy go to waste.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just the way they played. It's up to us to stand up to them and go, no, 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 no. You're not sneaking this through. You're not going to push this through using the grief of the people.
Well, they did already, though. That's the frustrating part.
Well, put forward their agenda. But yeah, well, in California, that was probably already in the book or on them in motion.
Yeah. It ain't right, but I guess, you know, what are you going to do?
Not much you can.
Let's see. So I guess this one of them ended the ability for a school district superintendent to give permission to someone to have firearms on campus. So they took away the authority of the commissioner to allow, like, I imagine, a security guard or something to have a firearm. And then we got rural open carry ban, expanded the state's open carry prohibition to cover shotguns and rifles carried in unincorporated areas. Makes it a misdemeanor to carry an open long gun in a public place, wherever the discharge of a firearm is prohibited. So public lands would not be affected, but basically, you know, they're keeping guns out of sight everywhere. And then the third measure authorizes warning labels printed to direct those buying a gun to the website of the California Attorney General for information on complying with state firearms laws. So backed by the Brady campaign, the move is the latest installment of the state's mandatory gun warning labels, which have been standard since 1993. So I guess they're creating a lot of work for sign makers, but I don't know if you've seen the signs at a California gun shop before. I'm assuming you guys don't remember that Glock store that me and Smeggy stopped at.
No.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of your videos, but I've never been to any, like, in person.
See if they have a picture of them on YouTube or on the Google, so that I can just point to them instead of having to look for mine, because I don't know if mine are in pictures or videos or what. But no, amazing. So nobody's paying attention to that, but they basically will have to, it's creative how they get all their signs up on the wall, but they have an incredible amount of required signage, so stupid warnings and just crap, like these little red signs, you know, like you'll see one in a restaurant that'll have to be posted to say, like, employees must wash their hands, like, you know, whatever reason they make that sign mandatory. And you know, sometimes the store will have to keep its business license out or something. Well, in California, they've got all these other warning signs, and they literally take up, if they put them all together, they would take up a whole wall. So nobody's got that, can afford to take up that kind of, you know, actual real estate for, you know, store stuff. So they'll put them in the up and down on the corners. They'll put them around the edges on the ceiling. There's just all kinds of ways. They'll stick them on around windows. Like, they got to sneak them in all over because there's dozens, seems like. Maybe it's like they have to have so many signs per square foot of store or something. I don't know, but they basically have to squeeze these signs in all over. And it doesn't even allow you to have a decent looking store because you got so many stupid warning signs everywhere. I don't even think they do that to tobacco or any of the other stuff that's people have. Oh, I thought I was screen sharing here, but no, I didn't. I never found any of the pictures for what I'm talking about.
So what are the signs? Just don't carry on property, or is there like other stuff?
No, it's all mandatory state stuff. So like, warning, carrying a gun will make you have cancer, or like, if you have a gun, then you're violent. Shame on you. Stuff like that.
Jeez.
They're just dumb warning signs, just like that last one that said, what the hell, what did they say that sign said? Oh, that's right here. New warning labels printed to direct those buying a gun to the website for the California Attorney General for information on complying with state firearms laws. So, hey, there's so many freaking laws that we've mandated a sign be posted in any place that sells guns to let you know that there's a whole website devoted to you figuring out what the laws are that prohibit you from basically enjoying the thing you're trying to buy.
Yeah.
So it's like a warning label. Warning, there's so many things that you have to deal with that gun that we've created a whole website. You better go check it out because you're liable immediately for everything.
As soon as you buy it, you're liable. That's nuts, man.
All right, so thanks, Knives, for posting that on the Gun Channel side. So we're watching the Gun Channel's text chat coming in there that we pay good money for every single month. And then we got the YouTube side where everybody's hanging out today. 15 people watching, 4 thumbs up. You're all on the YouTube side and you're not even thumbing it up. So hey, thanks for all that, man. Really appreciate it. So I guess we'll dig into the show. We still don't have a topic for Second Amendment issues because they're all over there talking about, hey, hello, how you doing? Hey, hi. Nobody's saying here's a topic for the Second Amendment.
YouTubing it up over there.
So I was going to do some updates on Every Second Matters stuff and gun channels and some of the other things that we've been working on. Angry and Jimmy and Heavy and I have been doing some meetings, and we've been doing some after chats with Bob and Dano and others. So we've got some updates for Every Second Matters, for gun channels, and for gear websites, and then the tour. So I figured I'd just go through some of those, let people know. And let's see, we'll start with Every Second Matters. We talked a little bit, I think, yesterday about doing a recorded segment and then playing it on Every Second Matters, playing it on this show. And we had already talked about doing that earlier. So I think we were given more for Smeggy to do, but he had already talked about that concept of recording a piece on the research that he does for the month, and then just having that to play on Every Second Matters on the actual show. But then that way it would be available for anybody who wanted to find it or stumble across it. We could use it when we post newsletters or blog posts or something. And then of course anybody that has a video going who wants to include it, like the early watch or this show, we can just go over to Smeggy's channel, play the video, and now it's a part of our show also. So we were talking about doing that for Every Second Matters, and I think that might be a way we can do some interviews with people. And maybe we can encourage people, if you want to be part of Every Second Matters, it's all about grassroots, right? I was thinking about on Every Second Matters, as soon as I have a chance to do so, I'm going to put a list of people in the know. So we have organizations over there, which is what it started with. Then we started putting a wiki in there for the various bills and laws that we have that deal with firearms. And it grew to that. And then we have, of course, the events that go with the organizations. And then we have the news feed, which is just part of the system, so it's there. And then I'm thinking I'll add a list of people who, like contact information for people who are authors or activists or members or parts of the main organizations. And then, of course, anybody who's in the media that wants to post something in there, who's in what we call Second Amendment media, would be able to post stuff there too. Their contact information, and then that way it's just a place for networking and for people to find guests for their shows. So the idea there would be, let's say you have Alan Gottlieb on, or the guy that created Pink Pistols, or the one of the authors or something like that, or maybe a podcaster who's been doing Second Amendment podcasting for a long time, or blogging or something, and you have them on your YouTube live thing. It's beneficial for everybody. You're getting them some experience with the live stuff. You're creating content for your show, but then let us know about it. And on Every Second Matters, we can, if it's like a 10-minute interview or something, as long as it's like a 3-hour interview, or if it is a 3-hour interview, cut a 10-minute useful chunk out of it, and we'll play that on the Every Second Matters show. Or whoever is hosting the Every Second Matters show then has a bunch of these pieces that they can use to create their show. So it doesn't matter who hosts it, and we can go back to its original format of either a bunch of people having keys to the YouTube channel and then just having different hosts kind of run the show, or having people run it on their own YouTube channels. Both of them have good good things and bad things to it. So it really doesn't matter which way we go with it. But I think that'll make it a lot easier for whoever runs the show to have these plug and play pieces, and it gives everybody a little bit more coverage. It gets the word out there, and it's like I say, easier to assemble the actual show. I think there was something else for Every Second Matters, so I'll jump over to the comments and see if anybody's adding anything, or if it rings, somebody reminds me of something. Is Smeggy doing it tonight? Dano asked me to do it, but I will back away if Smeggy is going to update the legislation. Just let me know. I don't know what you're talking about. So I don't know who's doing what tonight.
Yeah, I have no idea what you guys are doing. Who was the one who said that?
That was Ghost.
In here, I was like, man, Jimmy sounds like Smeggy.
Yeah, I jumped in briefly.
I was talking about
if there's something about legislation, guys, update it. I'm not the ringmaster or whatever. Do whatever the hell you want.
Here's the deal. So yesterday we were talking about something on this show, and Dana was in here, and we volunteered you for a whole bunch of more work. So I think you were probably already going to do it, though. We were kind of talking or got into the concept of you doing like however long it is, but like an update on the laws each month, and then having that recorded as its own thing. And then for every second matters, we just play it.
Right, like I did for this month, because it was kind of a weird timing this month.
Right. And then Ghost now is asking, because we were just talking about that, Ghost is asking, is Smeggy doing it tonight? ? Then Dano asked me to do it, but I will back away if Smeggy is going to update the legislation. Just let me know. And then he clarified that with Dano asked me to do an update on the legislation on the first 5 minutes of the show to pull it for the Daily Gun Show. So I don't remember. Did Dano did that off air?
I remember he brought that up yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a problem with anybody doing it. So like Smeggy said, he doesn't have what on it. Smeggy don't care. So go ahead and if you want to do it, or you guys want to work together on it, do just join the show together. Bring your notes and make it 15 minutes and have both your notes in there.
Well, that kind of brought some up. That just made me think of something like if everybody that runs the chat or a show or whatever, content creator, they just make videos. If everybody did like a little, few minute thing, that'd be awesome.
For their state or their area interest or their, whatever they're aware of. If their audience brought it to them or they found it somehow, then do like a little video, and then every second matters can just become a bunch of these 10-minute clips, and then like I say, use it as an opportunity to reach out and interview some of these people, get to know them, get on their mailing list, join their newsletters. All of a sudden you start having a lot more content when you got a couple of newsletters coming in on the regular that give you gun related info. And if you can get information out there quick enough, people start to look to you as an information source. So you could gain some eyeballs that way. All right, so like I said, I think there was some other stuff in Every Second Matters, and I'm not sure if I remember what it is. So we'll see if we get reminded by it. So for gun channels, what do you have to update on gun channels?
Have we officially brought that up from earlier or no?
What does that mean?
The summit thing? I wasn't sure. Okay.
I don't know where to put that in there, so we'll do that now. So basically, we were sitting around the other day after the Prescott Gun Show, and we were talking about getting to SHOT Show and how we're going to rent a house or something, because we'd like to rent a house at SHOT Show. And I started telling the guys about last year's unsuccessful attempt to get everybody at SHOT Show over to the Haas's USMC's house. So we were talking about setting up a gun channels or a gun websites house, so that we basically are all going to need to be in Vegas, and we're going to be spending money on hotels. So if you rent one of the houses for a week, it's cheaper than 6 people renting a hotel room for a week, and you get a kitchen that you don't have to go out to eat every day for. And we have driveways and stuff for me and Bob to park the vehicles in. So there's some benefits to having a house. So then the discussion turned to, do we go to the cheapest house possible or a fancy luxury place? And one of the reasons for the fancy luxury place for me would be to have a place so we can invite people over to what do they say, network and meet and get together. And basically I'd really think that when you're talking about SHOT Show, you're talking about a week where you've got almost the entire industry in one town for 1 week. They're in one building for 8 hours every day, and they're on the clock. they're there all for the same purpose. So they're focused to some extent. So you've got the industry, which means you have the media. So you've got the old-fashioned print media, the guys who write for the magazines and books. Then you've got the radio show hosts, and then you've got the new electronic version of both of them. You got your bloggers and you've got your podcasters. And after going to the Gun Rights Policy Conference, I saw how large their audiences are, but how separate their audiences are from the YouTube audiences I'm more familiar with, because I did my thing on YouTube for so many years now. So then you get your YouTubers and your Instagrammers to some extent, and you've got all these different media people, and then you've got a very small presence from the Gun Owners of America and the Second Amendment Foundation and the gun policy and the other groups that are local or national level, right? Mainly because it's not necessarily an advocacy show, and it costs big money to be on the floor, $5,000 for a booth, and plus, $5,000 for the smallest booths. Plus, there's a whole idea about seniority. Once you need have been going to SHOT Show for a long time to be able to be in a location that's going to be found by people walking by to make it worth the money you're going to spend on a booth. So there's not a lot of presence of advocacy or gun owners' rights at the SHOT Show. And here nor there, they do have a lot of nonprofits, and they put the nonprofits up by the media room, and they give them free space, I think. And there's some qualifier to be a nonprofit, but most of them have to do with like education for kids or accessibility or opening up the demographic. So not really advocacy up there. And I don't know if I don't think they have a problem with advocacy. I just don't know if anybody's ever done it. So my goal would be, to have this fancy house would be to have everybody, a place for everybody to be able to come over and network, and all these different people that are there have a place where they can get together. The disadvantage of a giant house is the cost, of course, and then that it's not at SHOT Show. So you're then requiring people, no matter how luxury the accommodations, you have to get them to leave SHOT Show and go over to it. So we just sort of went on a tangent there and said, oh, it'd be much better to be at the hotel. And then, of course, that's, I think right now, $600 a night for the SHOT Show time frame. So not inexpensive at all. So we did the math, and it comes out to about $2,600 for the hotel. You add the $700 or something for the patches, and then the fees and shipping and everything brings it right up to about $3,000. And if you divide $3,000 by 100, you get 30. So that puts it in the range of something that somebody might want to contribute and get a patch for. So we're gonna take that to its conclusion and do the Second Amendment Summit. We're calling it 2A Summit. And let's see, I guess I could screen share and make it a little easier to show here. What the hell? I guess I should just go to it. I don't know if Smeggy was on lunch or what.
Yeah, he probably had to get back to it.
Okay, it's screen sharing now. So the Second Amendment Summit is what we're calling it, the 2A Summit. And we're going to try to get one of these rooms at the Venetian, right? And there's what I was looking for, to make it a nonpartisan, non-sponsored, an independent room that's open to everybody. And the idea of putting it in the Venetian, since it's super expensive, the idea there is to have it as close as possible and open during the show, so that people know that it's there. And I set up a newsletter thing here so that we then can let people know maybe who'd be there at a certain time, or that new information was dropped off. But I think we could probably have just a couple of tables set up in there with some presence from each of the different organizations, and then have a way to mix or merge business cards or network, what should I say, shuffle up business cards. If we have 10 organizations that'll be represented at SHOT, have the media people drop 10 business cards so that they each get one, and vice versa. Figure out, have the organizations leave enough of their paperwork and information there that the various media people, as they come through, can grab it, and then hopefully have people in the rooms, maybe the after shot when people are waiting to go to their big parties or their dinners or their meetings and stuff. Give them a place to stage and hang out where they don't have to, leave, because that's the other problem is if you got no car in Vegas, then what do you do in the 2 hours between show ending and your meeting starting? Or if your meeting starts right after the end of the show and you're getting sick of walking around, you don't want to be totally exhausted for that meeting. Having a place to hang out for an hour or two and just sit and chill and talk might be a benefit to somebody or useful for some people. So that's the goal. No one's ever done anything like it that I'm aware of, and there might be better ways to do it. So we're taking ideas. Nothing's paid for yet, but the goal would be to make up some patches, some PVC patches that look sort of like a media card, media badge, and have those made. Have just 150 of them made. That way we have 100 for the fundraising portion of it, and those will be numbered. So people, like there's already one person who's on board, they'll have number 1, and then 2, 3, 4, and so on for the first 100. That'll pay for the room and the patches and shipping them out. And then we're done. Then we have a room and we figure out with the Gun Channels people or whoever else, how to keep the room staffed so that nobody's stealing anything. And maybe pop a laptop in there and go live, and then whoever's in the room it can, has access to the live chat, or the live chat could kind of be like a fly on the wall and see what kind of stuff is happening. And maybe we start something new where SHOT Show gets an opportunity to get everybody on the same message. It could be as simple as getting people on the same set of hashtags, making sure that people are using the same links or something, just making sure people are aware of what actions are being done, and stop some of the duplication of effort, and just give another flavor to SHOT Show. So that's our the 2A summit, and I guess we'll be talking more about that. Try to bring some of the various podcasters and other people on board to get the concept of it out there, and then when SHOT Show is closer and happens, we'll see how useful it is, or if it has any effect.
Yeah, and what I think is really cool about this is that it could be the beginning of a thing. It could be something that turns into a yearly thing. Even we can just come together, even not in times of distress. I don't know. I think that's a really cool idea, and it could turn into something.
That would be kind of cool.
All right, so that's the 2A summit. Then we got Gun Channels. I was going to say the Gun Channels we got our anniversary coming up on the 15th. So we've got a couple of things we've got going on. We talked about it a little bit in the early watch over there, but the Wanamaker Gun Show is coming up on November. What is it? 15th? Just had it open over here.
I want to say that
it's in November 11th and 12th. So that's a Saturday and Sunday. So the 10th and the 9th would be the Thursday and Friday before the show. So basically the 9th through the 12th, we're looking at doing some sort of a house in Tulsa. So if anybody's interested in something like that, get with the people on Gun Channels, either in the lobby or however, and we'll try to sum that thing up as soon as possible here. But we should be able, we were looking earlier today at a 4-bedroom house that can accommodate 6 for, did I say $400 for the time frame? And so chopping that up, it doesn't, it's not too expensive, and it should be cheaper than a hotel. Again, we can save on food, and then everyone can BS and hang out, and then just go to bed and not BS, hang out, and then have to drive to various hotels all over the place. So hopefully it'll make the show a little more fun and comfortable for everybody, and cheaper. So looks like a couple of them are over on the side of Tulsa that the museum is on, and that restaurant that has the massive portions. So and some of the good gun shops. So there should be potential there if we get our butts together, or get our acts together here and our butts in gear. We can get one of these things reserved and start another tradition there, where we start going to the Tulsa Gun Show either once or twice a year as Gun Channels, and getting one of these tables in conjunction, or houses in conjunction with a table at the show, so that then the show takes on a whole nother level when we can have a place there. So that's one of the Gun Channels things that's going on. Also, we have been talking about shirts and stuff. So if anybody out there listening to this show, I don't know how many people are even listening right now, but if anybody out there listening to this show is or knows t-shirt people, I don't know if Flippy's out there, but I don't know how interested he is in trying to figure out how to do some t-shirts or something, or if you know somebody that's out there that's already doing the t-shirt game, then let's figure out, because some of the guys want some t-shirts, and the options that we've got out there aren't necessarily, they don't stand out as our only options or anything. So we're looking for some options there, and there's some other stuff. So I suggest after this show, there's quite a span of hours before the primetime stuff starts up, and those lobbies have been super interesting lately. So if you're listening to this show and you're thinking about, I don't know how interesting Gun Channels might be, check out these lobbies. That's a good the afternoon lobbies is a good time to get a good feel for how Gun Channels is. Next, we'll go to the gear websites, and there'll be some more stuff posted over there with the cards. Has anybody gotten their cards yet? Need some feedback on that. And once the cards get to me, then we'll have them on the store. The extras. We also have the patches from the tour, and I'll be posting those up on the store. Any of those sales will go towards getting us back on the road and paying off some of the bills, like the transmission and that kind of thing. So stay tuned for those. Let's see. I think I was also going to put into the gear channel something else. And what was that? Too much clicking. So then we'll get to the tour. We're going to be up at, sounds like we'll be up at Big Sandy this weekend at the machine gun shoot and have a table there. Then I don't think it's the weekend after that, but the next thing on the, let's see, Big Sandy, then there's a couple weekends. Oh, it's going to be quite a ways. I'm thinking they're forgetting about November. Then in December, we'll be at the SAR show, and those will be the two big, the next two big events, I think, for the tour. But it looks like there is a November in there, so it looks like, well, I guess Tulsa will be another adventure. So I guess the tour is got a lot of potential, but at this point, that's $3,000 transmission bill bit me. So I think after doing some discussions with the guys and doing some crude math, and I'll never suggest that I do fancy math, but with crude math, it looks like my goal is about 150 people. I'm looking for 150 people to do the gun show stuff and gun shop and gun show stuff package over on Patreon. So I'm going to jump over to Patreon. I think I'm still screen sharing, right?
Yep.
All right. So if we go over to Patreon, I'm only bringing in $635. I should say we're bringing in $635 because I'm really trying to support a crew to make this even better, end product and a more productive, projects. So anyway, we're bringing in $635. 100 of that is money that we're spending at local gun shops and gun shows. So if we scroll down on the right side of our Patreon, way at the bottom, you get to what I'm talking about, gun show and gun shop stuff. I guess there's nothing to click on, but the idea is that you give us $50 each month, which is a lot, but it's basically supposed to be based off of one of those boxes that you might get in the mail each month with surprises in them. So these surprises are found at local gun shops and gun shows, and that's the whole point, is to get that van out on the road and checking out gun shops every day and going to gun shows on weekends. This allows us not just to visit those shops and shows, but with 150, which is our goal right now, we have 4. Once we get to 150, what does that come out to? $4,000 that I'm dropping at gun shops and gun shows along the month, during the month. So that's almost $1,000 a month, or excuse me, $1,000 a week that I'll be able to drive around and think of the content. If I'm walking into a gun shop and spending $250 on stuff for you, and then walking out, going to the next gun shop, or maybe the next day later after I post a video, go to the next gun shop and spend another couple $100 on you, and then go to post a video about it, move on to the next gun show or maybe a gun shop and do the same thing. I think that could be a pretty interesting adventure. So that's the goal, is to get it to the 150 people doing that. And along the way, we'll have all kinds of others fun, but I think that would be a best way to get the tour going right now. So I think that's everything I was going to update people on. Hopefully that gave you some questions or some ideas. Take the ideas and run with them. If you've got questions, you can email them to me specifically at gunwebsites@gmail.com, or if you want to email the show, it's dailygunshow@gmail.com. And with that, I'm calling that the first segment. Why don't we move into the second segment, and hopefully we've got some suggestion for some suggestions out there for our Second Amendment topic. Looks like on the Gun Channel side we have one suggestion. It's the number 10. So thanks, Cycle, but I don't know. And then
talk about 10-shot 22 revolvers again.
Are we going to do something with a Gun Channel store for T-shirts? I don't know if you mean if we're going to build a whole giant store on Gun Channels. No, we have a 24-hour gun show on Gun Channels. We could post stuff in there. And I have the Gear Website store, which is a big fancy store that costs money every month. So I would probably put them in those two existing things that cost money every month already, instead of starting another one up. And then I was mostly thinking, I guess what I was talking about there is that we've got a lot of guys that are doing their own thing, or every once in a while we come up with like a Poco Ghibli or something, where we just need, you know, something like a spread shirt that isn't like a spread shirt. You know, the spread shirt doesn't care about anything except for, you know, the money. So they just, you know, they can't deal good, I guess, with small orders. So people aren't real satisfied with them. So I'm thinking it's got to be difficult for a small shop, but on the other hand, it might be an opportunity for a small shop that's pro 2A to do something, you know, for 2A efforts that they might be willing to, you know, give us either a little extra effort as far as being available, you know, as people to get us going with what we need to do, or with prices. I don't know. That's why I'm putting the call out there. I think if we were all experts on T-shirts, we would have already been doing it. So Moon suggested the number 5. So I guess we're not going to do a Second Amendment topic. It's kind of a boring thing anyway. So between the first and second segment of the show each day, though, we like to feature one of the members over at Gun Channels. And this, right now, we're in the middle of featuring the members that we met up with on the Gun Show Loophole tour. So last was Smeggy, and we're on our way from Detroit, heading towards the Bannerman Castle in New York. So along the way, I passed through Pennsylvania, and Angry was actually moving from Pennsylvania out to Phoenix at the same time I was doing the tour. So we get to literally cross paths as he was loaded up in his car, you know, moving all of his possessions and his dog out to Phoenix. And we met up at a gun shop. Oh, snap. That should be our gun shop today. I don't think I have a video made for it yet, though, so can't do that one. But we did meet up at a pretty nice little gun shop there. One of the first gun shops I saw on the tour that had a cafe right in it. I thought that was pretty cool, like an actual full restaurant. I don't know if I don't even think the building already had a restaurant. I think they intentionally put that there.
Dano's.
Yeah, seriously, it goes from Dano's thing, taking it 100 miles an hour, because you got a full menu. It's just like a little shop you'd have at like a roller skating rink or a bowling alley or something. So, or an amusement park, you know, like a full little snack shop there. And if you had classes going, or if you had, they have like barbecues and stuff. So that way, you know, they have the full restaurant right there, the full kitchen, I guess. So then when they have their barbecues, I bet you they're deluxe. And they have like a whole area set up outside. And that's the kind of stuff that makes your gun shop stand out when you're having, you know, cookouts and stuff. Anyhow, that was meeting up with Angry. Angry is one of the members of the Gun Websites team. He's been helping out quite a bit, and looks like he's chomping at the bit to do even more. So I think you'll hear a lot more from Angry, and imagine he's been jumping into the chats too, so in front of the cameras and behind the cameras. He went up to Prescott with us and drove heavy in a bunch of Marines. So that's commendable.
Yep, he's out in the chats now on the gun channel side. Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew's all right.
Yep, he's saying they purposely put in the cafe. So
yeah, I like Angry. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's got a nice dog.
Not bad dog.
Big girl dog belly. It's always nice. I enjoy a good girl dog belly because they get so much more belly to pet.
That's true. You gotta be careful petting a dog, boy dog.
Yeah, these boy dogs don't get pet in the belly. They get pet in the leg sometimes and on the butt, but no belly rubbing.
No.
All right, so I guess that's our member of the day. We're going to be doing members that we met on the tour here for a bit, but we can always break in with one of your suggestions. Again, our email address is dailygunshow@gmail.com. Somebody does you right, or somebody just does something cool, and you want to, make somebody else aware of that. Feel free to drop us an email. If you're watching a live chat and somebody just does something epic, and you want to make sure that gets remembered, when you're watching a live chat, right? Let me flip back onto the screen share there. Let's say you're watching this live chat right now, and you think it's so great. Oops, and it was live. You can go down to where the hell is share. You can go over here to share and then click this button, and it'll be wherever you were. So let's say you're watching this thing live, and Bob said something hilarious. You got to share that with everybody. Just make sure you click that little button, and when you share that video link, it's going to go. You can see it right there in the code to 22 minutes and 10 seconds. So it's going to go to queued up right where Bob said that hilarious thing. And then when you send that to your friends, they don't have to dig around through the whole thing. So if there's something like that, where somebody does something awesome and you think they should be a member of the day, then send us a link like that with the timestamp, right? That's queued up, and maybe a quick blurb on why. And then send it to dailygunshow@gmail.com. Look, all you have to do is go over here to this and just drag that or something, maybe copy it, and then just drop these little things, these spaces out of here. All you got to do is type a couple of words, a couple of letters. So did we ever get, after all that, on a suggestion for Second Amendment topic?
I'm looking right now. I'm not seeing nothing.
Jared saying, be careful if you get a house that A or B and B can backfire. So I don't know what that means. Need more info from that.
No, there's something about Airbnb screwing up or something. It was on the airwaves or the net waves. I remember hearing something about it. I don't remember the details though.
I don't know.
All right, so I'm reading the chats there. So I guess we keep going. Let's see. The next will be State of the State. So every week we try to feature one of the states. Again, we're going in the order that we did the last leg of the tour here. So we went through Arizona to New Mexico into Texas, and then out of Texas through Texarkana into the state of Arkansas.
Hey, Arkansas. Let's see. So I got them pulled up over here. So Arkansas, they are subject to subject law. So state permit to purchase, no on long guns or handguns. Firearm registration, no on both. Assault weapon law, no. Mag capacity restrictions, no. Owner license required, no. Carry permits required, no. It is a shall issue. The Arkansas State Police issue and recognize the Arkansas Concealed Handgun Carry License, as do states that have existing reciprocity with Arkansas. Act 746 allows for concealed carry without permit when upon a journey, outside of one's county or residence. Enhanced concealed carry permits allow for carrying in some forbidden areas, such as carrying at public colleges, most public buildings, non-secure locations in an airport, churches, and more. Open carry, yes and yes for long guns and handguns. Make open carry without a license. State preemption of local restrictions, yes on both. NFA weapons restricted, no. All NFA items allowed if in compliance with federal law. Machine guns may not have ammunition 30 inches or 7.63 millimeter or bigger, unless the gun is registered to an ammunition corporation. Shall certify, yes, for long guns and handguns. Shall certify within 15 days with the enhancement of 41/P on July 13, 2016. The need for shall certify legislation has essentially been negated. Peaceable journey, yes on both. Weapons are allowed if the person is carrying a weapon when upon a journey, unless the journey is through a commercial airport when presenting at security checkpoint in the airport, or is in the person's checked baggage and is not a lawfully declared weapon. Journey is defined as travel beyond the county in which a person lives. And it is 55-73-120B. Background checks required for private sales, no on long guns and handguns. So as of August 16th, 2013, permits are no longer required to conceal carry a handgun when upon a journey. However, there is some confusion over the legality of permitless carry in Arkansas. For concealed carry, Arkansas still offers CCW permits on a shall issue basis. Open carry of handguns is permitted in some counties and seems to be legal by a simple reading of the law. Yet some Arkansas state officials deny that it is legal. A judicial clarification is pending. Applicants must pass a background check and complete a training course to receive a new or renewal concealed carry license. An existing license is suspended or revoked if the license holder is arrested for a felony or any violent act, becomes ineligible due to mental health treatment, or for a number of other reasons. Concealed firearms may not be carried in a courthouse, meeting place of any government entity, athletic event, places of higher education, or in a number of other places. And that is that's about it for Arkansas there.
That sounds like a pretty decent state.
Yeah, they got to throw out all that legal mumbo jumbo and stuff. I don't know if that was updated though. The one part where it said that yet some Arkansas state officials deny that it is legal. A judicial clarification pending. That's, I don't know if they updated that any, but yeah, it sounds pretty good. Shall issue. Like an AR Kansas.
All right, well, Kansas sounds pretty cool. Except that Kansas, they have tornadoes that pick you and your little dog up and take you away.
Yeah.
A little trouble picking me and my dog up. Damn thing outweighs me.
Well, yeah, you'd be gone. Dog would still be there.
Yeah, I'd be hanging on to him.
All right. Well, Jared out there saying that, his experiences, brothers, people cancel on them or forget that they rented the house and stuff. And that's where I'm not so familiar with this Airbnb business. But I've rented homes for a long, long time, and you rent them from rental places, right? People that buy these homes in tourist areas, and nobody ever lives in them. They're just rentals, the short-term rentals. So, they're through a service usually. And like, again, I know that there's this concept where people live in their house and then just keep it clean and then leave. when somebody wants to rent it, but I don't know if I trust that either, because yeah, I think that would be sketchy. So I think I might have pointed to one of those, but I don't think I would actually follow through on the individual person one. I would just go to an actual. I don't know if those things are companies that do it, or if they're. I know a couple of people just have houses that they let a service rent it for them, or do the management of it.
I've never stayed in one before. I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
I don't know. Does that make Lou Bega the gun channels? I don't know what that is. All right, well, I guess we'll go on to the next thing. So, got a gun of the day?
Let's see.
We do. I picked the MP40 today, which I'm sure we've done before, but I just think it's a really cool Nazi gun. It's kind of your, that's the one when you think Nazis, other than Luger, that's the first one you think of, right? It's one of the most iconic submachine guns in the world, I would say.
I don't think so. Whatever.
Well, most people, if you show them an MP40, they know what it is. Well,
I believe that at one point in time, yes, but I think those people are going away, and more people are going to think the AK-47 is the most iconic, and then maybe the M16. But okay, go ahead.
I mean, it is very Nazi-esque, Nazi-ish. Yeah.
It's kind of one of those, like, it's one of the first or earliest press steel kind of mass production type guns like that. Just stamped out. And that was, one of the reasons there were so many of them was at the start of World War II, because of the submachine guns in the First World War, how they became right near the end of the war. It was like, oh, this is a new thing. This is what we need, right? Sweep the trenches. And so at the start of World War II, it was like, that's what everybody thought everybody was going to carry, right? At least some armies did. The Germans had their MP40s, the MP38s. Like, everybody has submachine gun. The Russians did the same thing with the PP Papashaws. And whatever that other one they had that was a cheaper version of the Papasha. But yeah, like, that was going to be the thing, right? Was submachine guns. Yeah, that's the way to arm the soldiers. Cheap, it's rapid fire, everything. Of course, you're not fighting in trenches now. You're fighting out in hills and stuff. And, there's a problem with the shortage in range. And the other guy's shooting an M1 Grand and he's hitting you at 600 yards and you can't even reach him with a 9mm. So that's why it became so popular, in my humble opinion. But yeah, it just looks like that's just, when you think World War II Nazis, that's what you think of. MP40 and a Luger, and that's your Nazi.
Oh, that's cool. They make a little BB airsoft guns for them. That's cool. Yeah, I was looking at one picture.
You shot one?
No, I've never shot one. No. I imagine it'd be like a lot like a grease gun, heavy, clunky. Except being German, it would have more parts and be, better made. You can see there's a picture there, one that actually uses 2 magazines. Just because, obviously the Germans figured, hey, that's not complicated enough. Let's have it use 2 magazines and feed from both of them alternately.
Where did that go? Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, hey, this will make it even more complicated.
This is too simple, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
It's kind of wicked looking though.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. There's the one. It even comes with an ice pick.
Yeah.
Nah, what's that? That's probably something for cleaning or something.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, armies have done stupid things like put bayonets on submachine guns.
That ain't its bolt.
Oh yeah, it could be the firing pin, and yeah, could be.
Oh.
Yeah, mighty long for firing pin. I don't know. Could be though.
For stabbing fish. Nazi gun. All right, so that's your gun of the day.
Yeah, Nazi gun today.
Speaking of that,
Right,
actually,
so every day we try to come up with a gun of the day and some other things like the movie of the day. So usually we try to find a movie that you haven't seen before or you haven't seen in a while, or if you're young and something you ain't seen yet. This one I ain't seen. So I don't know if it's tonight. It's called Doomsday Gun. Somebody recommended this in the comments the other day, I think. It looks like it's a 1994 television film produced by HBO, dramatizing the life of Canadian supergun designer Dr. Gerald Bull.
Oh yeah,
It was-
Israel killed him.
So some guy named Gerald Bull designs a gun for Saddam Hussein that could fire a missile over 1,000 miles.
Yeah, he wanted to make a space gun.
So typical Canadian.
Eh.
Needs a super gun? No problem. I don't care.
Hey, he wanted to launch satellites out of a gun, and the government of Canada and the United States quit funding him, so he wanted to keep working on it. So he decided to, go work for whoever's got the bankroll. It's a really neat idea. It was kind of a take on the V3 guns that the Nazis were designing at the end of World War II, but his actually worked. He was making one. He had one. I think it was somewhere in Canada, and they actually took two 16-inch battleship barrels and put them together to make one really monstrously long gun, and they were launching satellites to space with it. But unfortunately, the launch G's were crushing the satellites. But it would make it to space. Probably wouldn't have been any good for launching astronauts.
I wouldn't imagine that.
Guy end up as a big red splotch at the end of the capsule. But interesting idea. If they'd been able, it's such an economical way to launch things into space, really. If you could make the satellites that can stand up to the G-force. It's like 1,000 Gs on launch kind of thing.
All right, so Saddam Hussein's space gun aside, this is the movie called Doomsday Gun. It says that the synopsis of it here on the Wikipedia says this guy is fascinated with large bore guns. So that makes me scared of what's going on in the lobby chats. I know a lot of guys that are in a similar situation.
Yeah, it sounds like my kind of guy.
Oh, he was a real genius. Like he redesigned the 155 millimeter that South Africa was using that had something like 20 miles more range than the standard 155 millimeter. Quite the genius. Unfortunately, he didn't have a lot of morals. And a lot of those guys are like that. They just crap. I thought that was about to be windy.
Well, I don't have any Doomsday guns laying around. Let me see. I think I might have an MP40 laying around here somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
That sounded too slow for an MP40.
Well, that's what YouTube said. So, but anyway, at any slow firing rate, let's move on to the daily quiz. So you guys know what that sound means. Crack them knuckles, whip out them keyboards, and get ready to go. Excuse me. Today we are going to be doing the guess that song lyric for the quiz. So I don't know if you want to read this one this time, Bob, or if you want me to take it and you look for the answer. Up to you.
You go ahead and take it. I'll just watch for the answers.
All right, cool. So everybody, open up them ear holes and get ready to go. Here is the quiz. From out of the east, a stranger came, a law book in his hand. A man, oh wait, hold on a second. A man, that kind of man, the West would need to tame. A troubled land. Wait, is this written right? Hang on a second here. My bad.
If you're going to sing it exactly how they sing it on the radio, then it's cheating.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I gotta figure out how it was written. I had to open up the whole thing. So here we go. Start over again. From out of the east.
Man who shot Liberty Balance.
Oh, yep. Whoever got that, got that.
Angry. That was Angry on the Gun Channel side. Just beat Clover Tack on the YouTube side and Ghost on the Gun Channel side.
Good job, guys. You worked through my dyslexia. I appreciate that.
Clover put the what did we call it? The author?
Yeah, the songwriters. He put that. Well, we didn't ask for that though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we asked for that though, but extra credit doesn't make your time. Doesn't give you.
But you do get extra marks, brownie points.
It might have been effective if there was like some sort of like they were right at the same time, right? Then we would have said, "Oh well, shit, he took all the time to write this, also."
Yes.
Now, do you think that he's now kicking himself because he took the time to write all this, and then that was enough time for Angry to just casually write this part? He didn't even capitalize. He didn't even waste his time with the shift key. He typed this shit all out and enter, and then here's over here, capital L, capital V. Yeah, that's where correct punctuation will get you right in the butt. And now Angry gets to, you know what's good about Angry winning all the time? We don't have to send him nothing. We just hand it off to him. So,
that's true. Yeah.
He's right here.
Save postage. Well, now people are going to think we rigged it that way. We're going to make sure people around in Arizona don't win too much.
Well, we told him he can either move to Arizona or we're telling Hillary about him. So
Yeah.
to move to Arizona, make shipping a little easier for us. He's going to keep winning.
And Ghost says Clover's just being a kiss ass.
Angry decided he didn't want to.
He wanted to live in a free land.
We didn't want Hillary's goons after him.
Yeah, leave it to the guy from Pennsylvania.
Anyway, we're sending you over to our website, dailygunshow.com/popquiz, where we get your name and info, where you want us to send whatever it is. And here's the thing. Angry's racking up those prizes. He's probably going to have a whole wall of his place, his patches already. He doesn't have to ship them to himself. He can ship them to somebody else. Although nowadays it's not just a patch anymore. It's a massive gift basket of luxury prizes. So he may want to keep them for himself. But whoever wins, you go over to, I guess I could show it. I'm screen sharing, right? You just go over to our website, dailygunshow.com. And over here it says Daily Pop Quiz. That's where we send you a link to. You put in your info here and then let us know. And we send you out what you're getting. And like I say, you can put whoever you want in there. So if you didn't want it, you can send it to somebody else.
Angry said he had to move because he was worried that Hillary was going to seduce him. I guess. Oh no, he says suiciding, not seducing. Okay.
Either one is very bad. I wouldn't want either one.
I'm not sure which would be worse.
I'm pretty sure I'd probably need one after the other.
Yeah.
So Doomsday Gun was the movie. We try to feature a new movie every day. We need movies, so we're running out of them again. So if you've got ideas for movies of the day, send them in to dailygunshow@gmail.com. We appreciate it. Let us know on Mondays when we schedule out the show, and we'll add them to the list whenever we get them. So that was that one. I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't know if I'm going to see it though, because it seems like
I think I've seen it, and it's
much about giant artillery, really. I don't know. It does have Kevin Spacey in it, and it's from '94, but I suspect that guy was never desperate for roles, right? He probably became the actor he is by choosing good roles. So I'm assuming if he chose that, it might be good.
Yeah, and that was Spacey at his prime too. So I think I might have to go back and watch that. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, made for TV by HBO. That was when they were probably trying to become, a new network or something.
I'll give it a shot.
I don't know what else we have left. It's Tuesday, so there's really nothing much on. Andalusia Armory will be on, and then Ghost will be on, and then Hit or Miss is on, and then Big Gunner 82 will be on. But aside from those 4 shows, there's just the lobby that'll be on immediately after this show. So basically, you've got maybe an hour tonight where you're not going to be able to even listen to anything live.
Pretty much our slowest day on gun channels, but
yeah, okay. There's like an entire hour to this evening that there'll probably not even be anything live. Like nobody will be in the chat room. So at least you got stuff to listen to pretty much nonstop until then, except that you can also jump into most of these chats and be part of it. You can definitely jump into their live chats on the outside and be part of it. And it's a good thing to do. It's fun and gets you some exercise and some chatting up in there. So it's a way to talk to people who are into guns.
Yeah, and it's a better way to pass the time than watching Dancing with the Stars or something stupid.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Well, I don't know. I guess that pretty much finishes us up, doesn't it?
I think so.
Well, hey, we're actually pretty much on time. Way to go.
Well, let me throw this out there. Then we'll be back tomorrow at same time, noon. Jimmy starts the day off at 9:30 a.m. Eastern with the early watch, and then he rolls into this one at noon. We'll be doing entertainment tomorrow. Good idea, bad idea, and our hashtag Daily Gun Show Showdown. So if you use the hashtag Daily Gun Show over on Instagram, we'll take a look at the pictures tomorrow and judge the best picture on the internet tomorrow. We do all our daily stuff also, and now Bob can do his thing.
All right. So as you know, we always end our show with a quote, and it's Winston Churchill again. Go figure. But before that, I want to just remind everybody, please like, share, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and if you can, support us on Patreon. It's your support and your participation that make this show what it is. So if you want to see it get better, participate. That's the biggest thing. That's why we're here. So anyway, Winston Churchill. Play the game for more than you can afford to lose. Only then will you learn the game. So on those words, deep thoughts, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.